Any of you read the book that Anita Roddick from Body Shop wrote called Take It Personally? She just died, and she has been one of the outstanding leaders in corporate interest in environmental and sustainable development. She talks about the importance of connecting every aspect of our daily lives into these choices that we make that have to be ecologically sound, ethically sound, etc. And she talks about sufficiency. Nobody's mentioned sufficiency here, but we have to redefine, as you were saying, wealth, growth, and development in terms of sufficiency. Do I have enough? But what is enough? What are our needs and desires? And it isn't easy, because the risks and the benefits aren't so, clear. I want to buy a hamburger, but, should I take in mind all these things or what, But we also have to learn to communicate, help other people understand, and share with them, because we don't know. But as I was saying, we have a task which is not always concrete. When a student comes in and is distressed because all the kids in the kindergarten brought their Barbie dolls and are waving it around saying, looky, looky, this is show and tell. And this kid is sitting there saying, I'm not a Barbie example of physique. This is an indirect peer pressure that you can't touch or say, but it's very, very effective in terms of the choices that child is going to make in the future. I would love to spend a lot of time on the decade for sustainable development, but instead I'm going to waive some stuff. The United Nations, UNESCO and UNEP, the United Nations Environmental Program, have made a number of very good materials. UNESCO's brochure on sustainable development, I recommend, online, downloadable, available from UNESCO if you go onto unesco.org. They have made newsletters, lots of examples of what you can do in your communities to develop education for sustainable environment, for sustainable development. One of the toolkits which has come out, I recommend. It's, again, available online in 49 different languages, and you can get hold of it. They have also a CD, which is marvelous, a teacher trainings kit. They have brochures on the decade, which helps you understand how you can get your communities involved, etc., etc., etc. And then they have one thing which is fantastic. Well, I'll put this one on here. I have maybe half a minute more, maybe. We have not talked about the Millennium Goals very much here. The Millennium Goals lie at the base for a lot of the activity, the foundation of many of the activities. Connecting the Millennium Goals to the work you do in your community to have a more environmentally sound development or activities is important. It's important to have this global thinking. Global? Do you go around global thinking? You didn't know about that. That's called global local. It's based on Agenda 21. You think globally, you act locally. Youth Exchange is a marvelous toolkit. It's a set of cases, again, as we've been trying to do here, showing lifestyles which are sustainable, which are responsible. They also have a website. And if I go ahead, I'll go real fast over this. I'll come back to, no, I won't. Okay. I guess I have to hop a little bit slower. But I recommend Youth Exchange. I've come over to the CCN, and here I only have half a minute left. But I mentioned to some of you earlier, the Consumer Citizenship Network is a network based on the concept of consumer citizenship. I understand consumer is a bad word in Canada. I don't know why. But this is a concept from Canada. Kernighan Webb launched it about 20 years ago. And the idea is that when you talk about consumerism, people think of this horrible monster who's just madly devouring everything. But if you put the concept of citizenship and responsibility with it, you start getting a discussion, a debate, activities based on ethics and values. And this is what we've tried to do. And briefly, we're 121 institutions, teacher training institutions, universities, research institutions, NGOs. 37 countries. We recognize the pressing need for constructive action by individuals in order to achieve responsible, sustainable consumption all over the place, east, west, north, south. Maybe the first one there is most important. We concentrate on the balance between material and non-material well-being. and how one can translate ethical values into everyday practice through conscientious participation in the market. And running along, I won't even give you the definition of the consumer citizen. You'll have to get that online. Nor all the things we do that are related to schools, universities, teacher training, curriculum development, teacher toolkits, packages. I will waive the guidelines for consumer citizenship education. If you're interested, available both online and in 7 languages so far. Lots of other materials. I have a few things with me. You're welcome to look at them. You must not take all of them with you because I, have only 1 copy. Lola. Can I just say, if you haven't heard about Lola, this is a way for teachers and parents to go out in the community, help the kids identify, assess, and share with others examples of light living, good living, responsible choice making. It's a great, wonderful sort of set. And I have a final, I won't tell you about all our conferences and other stuff, but I would like to read a quote. Do I have the time to read 1 quote to end? Keep coming. There we go. The quote I wanted to read, it's 2 short quotes. One is from the Baha'i writings, and I'm very keen on this concept of nobility. Mankind can be noble, and it says, humanity has the capacity for great feats of heroism. You called us heroes. We also have the capacity for self-sacrifice. At the same time, we have our baser tendencies towards materialism, greed, and violence. For humanity's nobility to emerge, its qualities of trustworthiness, compassion, selflessness, dedication, loyalty, sacrifice, and service need to be nurtured, and they must gain ascendancy over the baser impulses. And Arthur McCall Smith, he writes novels, sort of fun things. He calls it spreading a human blanket of love, whose fibers are the threads of obligation, which means no one can ignore the needs of others. Let's spread some blankets.